Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of June 11, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Russian forces are consolidating control along the Donetsk and Dnipropetrovsk axes, suggesting preparation for a multi-directional push aimed at severing Ukrainian eastern logistics corridors. High attrition among elite Ukrainian units signals the degradation of Ukraine's rapid maneuver capacity. Strikes on UAV infrastructure and EW systems indicate an intent to suppress Ukraine's ISR and drone strike capabilities, particularly as Western resupply lags. The Center and East Group movements may presage a concerted offensive toward Kryvyi Rih or the broader Dnipro region, threatening to outflank Ukrainian defensive belts. Meanwhile, the ongoing destruction of Western supplied systems weakens NATO's indirect fire support influence.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's begin with a big picture view. What's the current state of operations across the various Russian force groupings as of June 11th?
The Russian armed forces continue to execute coordinated, high-intensity operations across 5 major axes of advance, plus the supporting Dnipro Group. We're seeing a shift from localized engagements toward deeper territorial penetrations, what we refer to as maneuver warfare aiming at systemic degradation rather than just tactical gain. Each grouping, North, West, South, Center, East, and Dnipro, has reported significant success in disrupting Ukrainian force concentrations, particularly in the Sumy, Kharkiv, Donetsk, and Zaporizhia regions. The intent is clear: to collapse the Ukrainian defensive architecture by overextending their reserves, cutting logistics nodes, and denying air and ISR superiority through concentrated drone and artillery interdiction. Notably, the Center and East groups have now reached the western boundaries of the Donetsk People's Republic and are moving into Dnipropetrovsk, which marks a substantial geographical and strategic shift.
Let's focus on the North Group first. What can you tell us about the engagements in Sumy Oblast?
The North Group has been conducting a persistent and deliberate push through multiple Ukrainian brigade defenses in Sumy Oblast. This includes engaging airborne assault brigades, territorial defense formations, and mechanized units across key settlements like Vakolovshchina, Rizevka, and Sadki. We're not just talking about outposts being overrun. This is full-scale destruction of combat groupings, brigade-level concentrations, equipment nodes, and artillery emplacements. The destruction of a U.S.-made M777 howitzer in this axis is notable because it confirms that long-range Western artillery continues to be committed here, making it a priority strike target. From a doctrinal standpoint, these operations are supported by electronic warfare suppression and drone reconnaissance integration, allowing Russian forces to maintain both tempo and tactical surprise.
And how about the West Group? What was achieved around Kupiansk and further south?
The West Group has had one of the most productive days in terms of shaping the battlefield. Around Kupiansk, Karpovka, and Yampol, Russian forces pushed Ukrainian mechanized, assault, and airmobile brigades off key terrain, seizing better tactical positions for both offensive and defensive action. Strategically, this threatens Ukraine's rear echelon movements. Kupiansk is a known logistical node. Controlling or interdicting routes here pressures Ukrainian sustainment. Additionally, we destroyed a key EW system, the Octava-S, and 3 ammunition depots. Taking out EW infrastructure is vital. It creates a vacuum in Ukrainian situational awareness, making them vulnerable to combined arms assaults.
The Southern and Center groups have also seen intense activity. Can you speak to the scale and significance of these operations?
Yes. The South Group advanced in the contested Donetsk areas, particularly around Chasov Yar and Konstantinovka. What makes this noteworthy is the engagement and neutralization of the Azov Special Forces Brigade, an elite unit. Their presence suggests Ukraine had prioritized this zone, and yet their defenses were dismantled along with mechanized and airmobile elements.
And the center group of forces?
Meanwhile, the center group, which includes the 55th Motorized Rifle Brigade and 90th Tank Division, is pushing west of Donetsk into Dnipropetrovsk. This is operationally significant. These are not probing advances, they're deep territorial penetrations meant to establish bridgeheads for broader operations. 7 Ukrainian brigades were hit in this axis alone, including mountain assault and unmanned systems brigades, indicating a multidimensional enemy force that was comprehensively degraded.
How are the East and DNEPR groups supporting the overall momentum?
The East Group is mirroring the center's push by extending control westward from Donetsk and striking into key areas of the Zaporizhia and Dnipropetrovsk regions. Their target, 2 mechanized brigades and a territorial defense unit, along with key artillery and EW positions.
And the DNPR group of forces?
The Dnipro Group, operating in the southern sector, focused on eliminating coastal and territorial brigades, with engagements from Novodanilovka to Kherson-Zvelotinsk. Notably, 3 U.S.-made M777 howitzers and 3 EW stations were taken out. These consistent losses of Western equipment indicate not only successful targeting but also the vulnerability of static Ukrainian positions to precision strikes and UAV surveillance.
Speaking of strikes, tell us more about the air and missile campaign. How does it tie into the ground operations?
The air campaign is critical. On June 11th alone, 147 distinct strike points were engaged. These included drone production workshops, long-range UAV control centers, ammunition and unmanned boat depots, and temporary deployments of Ukrainian and foreign combatants. This is a classic deep strike strategy, hitting the brain, not just the limbs. By targeting command infrastructure and ISR systems, we suppress Ukraine's capacity to coordinate or reinforce effectively. Russian air defenses were also active, intercepting 5 dams and a HIMARS launch, plus 120 Ukrainian drones. This defensive layer ensures ground forces are not disrupted during offensive operations.
Final question, Colonel. What's the strategic takeaway from the June 11th operations?
The takeaway is that Russia is transitioning from positional warfare to sustained maneuver and system collapse operations. We're seeing shaping fires followed by synchronized penetrations. Ukrainian forces are experiencing degradation in critical enablers, artillery, electronic warfare, and mobility. From a logistical and operational perspective, this means Ukraine's ability to mount coordinated counteroffensives is declining. If the current tempo holds, we may witness a realignment of the front by midsummer, potentially forcing Ukraine into reactive rather than proactive posture.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, dozens of Palestinians have been killed while seeking food aid in Gaza. Israeli forces are reportedly involved in these incidents. The situation pertains to the Israeli-Palestinian issue, and the erosion of international law is a significant concern. There are also reports about a potential deal involving Trump instructing Netanyahu to end the Gaza war and curb Iranian threats. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad is under a mass evacuation order.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.